stood there hanging onto the rail, sick. I mean, really. And crying. I couldn't stop.
Does that happen often?
It shouldn't happen at all.
Crying?
Getting sick. And crying. Murray had 3 or 4 drinks. He didn't get sick.
Murray, that's your brother.
That's why I went out of the room. I didn't want him to see me.
Your older brother. Tell me about it.
Well, we'd gone to this bar. Murray said he was going to show me something, you know, have some fun. And this guy offered to buy us a drink. Murray went along with it. I mean, it was funny, stringing the guy along. So the guy says, why don't we come up to his place? Murray said, sure.
You went. What happened?
Well, when we were up there, I went into the bathroom, and when I came out, Murray was hollering at this guy, calling him names. And then he belted him right in the mouth. Then he turned him around, and he pushed him toward me, hollering at me, belt him, or something like that.
Paul! Hey, Paul, why'd you take off? What's the matter?
This guy was crawling on the floor. His mouth was bleeding, and he was sort of whimpering, and I just got sick. And Murray was looking at me. The way he looked at that guy.
What's the matter?
Hey, look, I'm sorry, kid. I didn't mean it.
All right, so you were sick. The liquor hits you wrong, that's all. That's all it is, huh? Hey, look, Paul, I'm your brother. I was only trying to help. That's what brothers are supposed to do. They gotta help, right? You okay, huh? Come on. Come on.
You know what I should have done? I should have smashed that guy. But I couldn't. Now, there's something wrong with me, isn't there?
What do you think it is?
Is he right? Am I a man, or
what?
a homosexual?
Brought to you by the Sunbeam Corporation, makers of the Sunbeam Multi-Cooker Fry Pan and the Sunbeam Mixmaster Mixer. And by the cigarettes with famous Raleigh coupons on the back of every pack. Raleigh, plain end or filter tip, and light menthol Bel Air.
Every day, more and more people are discovering the extra pleasure of smoking Raleigh cigarettes.
Raleigh? Thanks. Got my own.
Well, didn't know you smoked Raleighs.
I started smoking them at your house last week. Like the way they taste. Raleighs have a real tobacco taste. They sure do.
Say, what are you going to do with that Raleigh coupon?
What do you mean?
Why, that's how I got my shotgun. Jacket, too. I got them free for Raleigh coupons. So if you don't want that coupon...
Think I'll start saving these Raleigh coupons myself.
Raleigh coupons, good for hundreds of free gifts.
And now,
you get famous Raleigh coupons on a light menthol cigarette. Bel Air, new Bel Air, the light menthol cigarette that gives you true tobacco taste.
There's a light touch of menthol in a Bel Air cigarette. Just the right touch of menthol in a Bel Air cigarette.
Only new Bel Air gives you true tobacco taste with just the right touch of menthol and the pure white Bel Air filter. Remember, you get famous Raleigh coupons on Bel Air, the light menthol cigarette, and on Raleigh, filter tip or plain end.
Look, here she comes.
Hey, it's not bad, huh?
If you like the type.
What's the matter with that type?
She works in the city, you know.
So?
So she sits at a desk all day. Look at it.
I like them that way. Hey, Paul, you like them that way, huh? Hey, you waiting for a driver, honey?
Hey, lady! You want me to get you a lift? Hey, Lloyd, let's give her a lift.
Hey, we got lots of room. You want to ride on my bulldozer? Hey, you can ride on my bulldozer, honey. Hey. You could sit in my lap.
Oh, Lloyd, she's sore at you.
Oh, she ain't sore. Hey, you ain't sore, are you, honey? Hey, Paul, baby, what do you think of her, huh?
Ah, he don't even notice.
Nah, Paul didn't even notice.
Hey, he ain't interested. Right, Paul? You ain't interested.
Hey, come on, Paul. Give us your opinion. Go ahead, take a good look at her. It wouldn't hurt you to look.
Hey, Lloyd, why don't you shut your big fat mouth?
What'd you say, Murray?
I said, why don't you shut your big fat mouth?
Why don't you shut it for me?
Hey, break it up. The soup is coming. Come on, break it up. Break it up. The soup is coming. You all right?
It should have been me. It was my fight. He knew he'd get beat up. Lloyd used to be a professional heavyweight. But he didn't care. He wasn't afraid.
You know, a lot of times people are afraid of being afraid, or at least of other people finding out. So they're constantly having to do the thing that they're afraid of.
Not Murray. Why can't I be like that? What's wrong with me?
Well, maybe it's more sensible to be afraid of fighting a professional boxer. I mean, do you think it's bravery for a combat soldier to stand up and walk out in front of machine gun fire?
No, that's not it. It was because I wasn't able to stand up that... He got beat up because I'm... You'd think it's the least I could do for Murray.
Why for Murray?
For what I owe him.
What do you owe him?
Well, he's my brother. He took care of me after I got out of the Army. You know, I never would have figured that. He never had much to do with me when I was a kid. But when I was in the hospital waiting for my discharge, he came to see me.
What hospital?
Letterman. I was in there for my nerves. And that's when he came to see me. I hadn't seen him in over a year, even before I got drafted. So I wrote him a letter from the hospital and told him I was getting an NP discharge. That's what they call it, NP. Neuropsychiatric, I think. And that's when he came out.
Look, kid, I got everything fixed for you.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I spoke to the super on the job. He's going to take you on just because of me. I told him you were in the East for the last year.
Why'd you tell him that?
Because then he won't ask to see your discharge.
Look, Murray, I've been thinking... Well, the psychologists here think that I could maybe use some psychiatric help on the outside.
Are you crazy?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea.
Look, you don't need any lace handkerchief psychologist to cry to. You need to act like a man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, look, kid, I'm going to level with you. A guy gets shipped out of the Army on a Section 8 before he even finishes basic training. What do you think people are going to figure? The Army doesn't waste time with anybody who isn't man enough. They toss him right out.
They said it was my nerves.
Yeah, your nerves, I know. Look, kid, I know you got guts, but try to convince anybody else. Now, you let me take care of you. You want a man's job, right? I mean tough.
Right.
Okay, then you come with me. Anyway, what do they know about it? They could be wrong. You stick with me, kid. You'll be all right.
He was very decent about it. He never mentioned to me again about getting a Section 8. Never.
Paul, before you went into the hospital, did anything unusual happen?
No, I was doing KP one day, and the captain came in and told me to report to the base hospital. I guess I just didn't fit in.
Did you have any therapy while you were in the hospital?
No. I took some tests, and I talked to a couple of doctors. Some sergeant, I don't know who he was. Then a month later, I was out.
You didn't ask why? Why not? Were you afraid of what you'd find out?
What do you think?
The best hairdressing for you and me isn't for sale. It's free. Nature gave it to us. But hair loses natural oils, becomes dull, dry, unmanageable. Alberto VO5 contains oils like nature's own, so it helps restore the natural oils in your hair. Alberto VO5 ends dull, dry, unmanageable hair, even after shampooing. Try Alberto VO5, the conditioning hair dressing for everyone's hair.
Hey, Paul, Murray says he'll be a little late.
Excuse me, are you going into town? Are you driving into town?
Yes.
Would you give me a lift? The company car won't be back until about 5:30 or...
Sure. We just have to wait for my brother.
Okay, thanks. You're new around here, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you live in this part of the country?
Yeah. But I've only been on this job a few months.
Do you like it?
It's okay. Yeah, sure. You know.
Can I put these in the back?
Come in.
Oh, I'm Betty Larimer.
I'm Paul Knopf.
Hi.
You come out here every week?
Uh-huh. For the edification of the girl watchers back there.
Yeah.
I don't mind much, though, really. There's something about construction gangs. They're like Frenchmen at a sidewalk cafe, or...
Must be embarrassing for you, though.
My ears do get a little warm every once in a while. Were you one of them?
No. Well, I mean that...
Oh, that puts me in my place.
Hey, what do we got here?
This is my brother Murray, Betty Larimer.
Oh, you're the one from the main office.
We're gonna give her a lift into town.
We are? Well, let's take the long way by Seattle.
Here, I'll get in the back.
No, you won't. That's all right. Hey, how about that?
You going to the office?
You can drop me at my apartment. It's off Cherokee.
Well, what do you know? I got an extra arm. Oh, honey, you got soft shoulders, real soft. I hate them on the road, but I love them on a woman.
Thanks.
Say, why don't we all go up to your apartment for a little drink, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a date. Thanks again, Paul.
Sure, you're welcome.
Hey, I don't get you. You had 3/4 of an hour to get someplace with her, and you didn't even open your mouth. I left it open for you, didn't I?
Yeah, I guess you did.
Leave me alone with her for 25 minutes, and I'd have her all set.
I know.
What do you need? She asked you for a lift, didn't she?
The company car wouldn't be back till 5:30.
Well, you grow up. A girl doesn't take a lift unless she's interested. You gotta talk to him, kid him along, give him a little sense of danger. Listen, Paul, take my word for it. This one's easy.
She said she had a date.
That's what she said. If you'd have moved in, you'd be her date.
It was just a fender. The other guy wasn't even scratched. The whole thing cost about $1 for touch-up paint.
You were lucky.
Well, it was my fault. I wasn't looking or anything.
Why weren't you?
I figured it was because I was mad.
At Murray?
No, why should I be mad at him? I was mad at myself.
You mean you turned it on yourself?
No. Oh, Murray's right. Why can't I talk to a girl the way he can? You know, sort of sexy girls like that.
Do they?
Yes, they do. I just sat there saying to myself, will you please have a normal reaction to this girl? Now, that's a crazy thing to say to yourself.
Paul, now, what is a normal reaction? I mean, how do you measure it? What's the ruler? Don't you know what you do? You make every contact with a girl a test of yourself. Now, that's impossible. You do that, and you're doomed to failure.
Murray does.
Does he?
Yes. He always could, even when he was a kid.
You remember any particular time?
I don't know. Yes, I can. I remember once he was going with a girl a couple of years older than him. She lived with her sister behind the hump at the switchyard. I was about 10 years old.
You go on with that no-good Annie. You don't care how I feel or what I say.
Lay off, will you?
My mother was giving Murray the devil for going out with her. And he was hollering right back at her.
What am I supposed to pay this?
We were both swearing, and my mother was crying half the time.
No good. You hear?
Murray was a pin boy in a bowling alley at that time. He was supposed to bring his money home with him.
Get out!
My mother said he was wasting it on that girl, and he was no good. But then I heard the door slam, and my mother was coming upstairs.
Paul. Paul.
Mariko.
Yeah, he went. Like his father, he's gone. You're all I've got now. Oh, Paul, my baby. Nobody cares about you but me. Your father didn't care. And Murray. I'm all alone. I'm afraid. You're all I've got now.
She moved my bed into her room because she was afraid to be alone. It was like that till I was around 16. Murray never came back.
As you know, Mac, clinic policy is oriented to short-term cases. After that, if it's necessary, a private therapist is recommended. But anything that requires a long, drawn-out, intensive therapy, it's not feasible. That's why Dr. Moore requested this meeting.
What makes you think Paul Knopf needs more than a year?
Well, you presented the case. It's all there.
The typical background. Possessive mother who engulfs her son while at the same time revenges herself on him for her disappointment in men. Plus the rejecting or cruel father, resulting in the boy having no real masculine identification.
All right, now that's all true, but I don't think Paul is homosexual.
No? Not even latent?
Well, I don't happen to believe there is any such thing as latent homosexuality. If an overt act hasn't been committed, then the man isn't homosexual.
Well, how about his army discharge?
I have the report on that, too. He was discharged because of an inadequate personality, unfit for military service, period.
Are you saying the boy has no disturbance in this area?
Of course he has a disturbance. It's going to be a long time before he can approach a relationship with a woman with any degree of confidence. But Will, he came to us because he was troubled. Now, all he asks is what's wrong with me. And everything he says leads to the same question. What is a man?
Well, if you're saying the boy's problem isn't homosexuality, what is it?
Well, I've lived through it, and so have you. And so have you. And so has every American male over 14. You sit around in a barracks or in a vacant lot or on the job, and every man there takes turns telling his adventures with the girls. Now, each one knows that he's lying, but he thinks that he's the only one. And everybody wonders. Everybody has the nagging feeling that he's not living up to the great American male image. The great Western hero, strong, silent, half Neanderthal man, half Don Juan. Now, in this concept of a man, there is no room for tenderness or understanding of other people, no place for sensitivity or aesthetic feelings. All that is considered feminine. Sure, with this boy's family situation and his Army history, he's obsessed with masculinity. He's afraid of failing with a woman, and maybe he will. The rest of us have worked out the answer to Paul's question one way or another. He hasn't found it yet. Of course, there are always those easy answers, and Paul can get those from his brother Murray. But what's the truth? Before we judge him, before we let him accept his own diagnosis, maybe we ought to examine the question ourselves. What is a man?
Look at this lipstick. Its new wedge tip fine line by Max Factor gives a perfect lip line every time. Choose from a full range of fabulous fashion shades. Fine line is on everyone's lips. And women are telling each other about sheer genius, too.
So this is a complete makeup.
Sheer genius makeup with powder and foundation and moisturizers all in one.
It's a liquid.
And so light and easy to apply.
Sheer genius?
Mm-hmm. Sheer genius.
You mean you haven't touched it since you put it on this morning?
Not once.
And no powdering. That's fantastic. I loved your dress.
Oh, I like it, too. But I wish I were wearing your face. What makeup are you using?
It's Max Factor Sheer Genius, the new matte look makeup.
For a naturally lovely complexion, discover Sheer Genius, the complete makeup by Max Factor.
We pause now for station identification.
What a mess.
I should have put the top up.
Oh, no. I don't care. I just take a shower and shake it out. Gee, I'm really grateful.
Well, that's all right. It was on my way. Want me to help you?
Do you have to go back out there?
No. I dropped the parts list off with the dealer. By the time I got back out there, they'd be knocking off anyway.
So you're not in any hurry?
No. Murray can get it right in.
Well, if you're not in any hurry, why don't I fix you something cool to drink?
Oh, I don't want to put you to any bother or anything.
That's not any bother. It's the least I can do. I have some tonic or something. No, I have some beer in the refrigerator. Come on in.
All right. You sure it's no bother?
I'll get the ice. You can put it anywhere.
Well, you sure have a lot of books. Anthropology. Coming of age. I used to like this subject. I always wanted to know more about it.
Did you go to college?
No. I wanted to after I got out of the Army, but Murray thought I'd be better off working.
You could go back to school at night. Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, I have thought about it. But we're usually tied up at night, you know.
Oh.
Well, you know how it is.
I'm taking a course in American literature. You know, Edgar Allan Poe and Hawthorne and all that. I always took the commercial course, and I never really read anything. I'm having a ball.
I'll bet.
Would you like to come? It's tonight. They let you bring one guest a semester.
Well, I think Murray has something lined up for us tonight.
Oh, well. It's just an idea. Oh, anyway, you'd probably be bored stiff.
No. I'd really be interested.
Well, then why don't you? You don't have to go everywhere with your brother, do you?
No. Okay. Sure, I'd like to.
Great. Why don't I fix us some dinner?
Can I call Murray?
Oh, sure. Help yourself.
Murray? Listen, I won't be able to go with you tonight.
Why? What are you doing? I got you all fixed up at the Bantam Club.
Well, I'm going out with Betty Larimer. We have a date.
No kidding! Well, what do you know?
Is it okay?
Why ask me? You know it's okay. I'm rooting for you. Hey, Paul, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
You know that passage where Emerson says, love afar is hate at home?
About the abolitionists. Would you like a drink or should I fix coffee?
A drink. Well, you know what he says is true today? There are so many who care for people thousands of miles away, but have no feeling at all for anybody close to them.
You liked the class, didn't you?
I sure did. I wish I could go again.
Well, why can't you? Just enroll. Next week it's House of Seven Gables. Have you ever read it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll lend it to you. Sit down. I had a feeling you'd like it.
Is that why you asked me?
Well, it's one of the reasons. Well, it wouldn't do me much good to ask your brother, would it, or any of the others?
You mean I'm different?
I'd say so. Wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't.
Of course you are. You're shy and sensitive. They're hard. You're welcome to it, but that's a little stiff, isn't it?
I'm used to it.
It's getting late. I think I better get some sleep. Okay, Paul, so you're not different. You're just like the others, so go.
Come on, kid, let's have a ball.
Oh, Paul, it's been fun. Now, good night. Look, if I'd wanted to wrestle, I'd have asked that kind of man. Isn't that clear? I don't play games.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my. Good night.
No, please let me explain. I have to explain. Now, we had a date, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I mean, you wanted me to come. I didn't imagine that. You like me, don't you? Well, then why shove me away?
I told you. I don't play games.
But what is there about me?
What is there about me that makes you think because I asked you to go to a...
Now, this is very important. I have to know once and for all. I have to know.
I don't know what's the matter with you, but I can't help you. Good night, Paul.
Al, my little brother. I didn't figure I'd see you till tomorrow morning. This is Charlotte, my brother.
Hi.
Hey, Charlotte, any more at home like you? I mean, for my kid brother?
I'm woman enough for both of you.
You're fat enough.
Go on. I've been on a diet.
Yeah, sure. Low-calorie scotch on the rocks. No kidding. Get a nice chick for my brother, huh?
I got just the one.
You copped out, huh, kid?
No.
I figured she was a culprit, don't try to kid me. You were wasting your time on that piece. Charlotte will fix you up with a real swinger.
Good, I like that.
Here they come now.
This is Murray, and this is Paul. This is Heather.
Hey, Heather.
Hi.
Let's go sit down.
Ouch.
International jewel thief.
I haven't seen you around here before.
No.
Well, aren't you going to ask me
So I ask you what?
what I'm having to drink?
Oh, I'm sorry. What would you like to drink?
I thought you'd never ask. Gin on the rocks with a twist of lemon peel.
Waitress?
Excuse me. You got a quarter?
A quarter?
Well, I have to comb my hair, don't I? There's a maid in there. You gotta give her a quarter. You have to know everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. Take it. Here's the quarter.
Sit down, Paul. Hey, lady. A scotch on the rocks, gin on the rocks, and two Boilermakers. Hey, Paul, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Well, loosen up. Talk to her. Show her a good time.
Murray.
Look, kid, Heather's a good sport. You know, you've got to meet her halfway. I gave you a big build-up, so don't let me down.
Don't worry. You'll do all right. Right, Paul, huh? Don't you worry about Paul. He's my brother, isn't he?
I guess
The best hairdressing for you and me isn't for sale. It's free. Nature gave it to us. But hair loses natural oils, becomes dull, dry, unmanageable. Alberto VO5 contains oils like nature's own, so it helps restore the natural oils in your hair. Alberto VO5 ends dull, dry, unmanageable hair, even after shampooing. Try Alberto VO5, the conditioning hairdressing for everyone's hair.
Now, another Alberto Culver product you'll enjoy. One capful of Rinse Away once a week stops dandruff better than any other leading product. Gives 7 days positive dandruff germ control. Soon after shampooing, other products let germs associated with dandruff return. But even after 7 days, Rinse Away is still keeping germs away. Proof: one capful of Rinse Away once a week stops dandruff better than any other leading product. Rinse Away after every shampoo.
strong, isn't he? I mean, Charlotte's not exactly skinny.
Hey, how about my kid brother? He's all right, huh?
Why don't you tell me? I just spit out my gum.
Paul, wait! Come back here. What's the matter? Come back here, Paul. What's the matter with you?
I had 4. I had 5 drinks. I tried to talk to her the way Murray talks to him. You know, kind of joking. I touched her, kissed her.
Did you like her?
She was a girl. She was just a girl.
Did you think she was attractive?
I got sick. I was disgusted. I finally had a chance. And I cried and ran away like a...
Paul, was she the kind of person you'd like to be with?
I don't know what you mean.
Now, why should you assume that you ought to be attracted to a woman like Heather?
I didn't succeed with Betty either.
Why should you expect to?
Oh, come on, you can't get around it. I finally had a chance to prove to Murray that I could be
a man. Is that still it? Now, we've been kicking this around for weeks, so let's get it out on the table, shall we? Now, what is a man? Now, come on, you tell me.
I don't know. A man is strong and tough, and he can move in fast on a girl. He doesn't get sick and run away. And he can fight when he has to. He can take care of himself. He's not afraid all the time. He's like my brother.
Like Murray?
Sure not. He's a man.
Why? What makes you think so? Because he says so? What makes you so sure that he doesn't have any problems? How do you know that he's not afraid? What makes you think that he's not asking himself the same question? What am I? Am I really a man?
What are you trying to say? What are you calling him? He could break you in half with one hand. If he heard you, he'd tear you apart. You ask anybody, they'll tell you what he is. Now, you shut up. You just leave Murray out of this. Well, what's that?
It's a souvenir. A friend of mine, an anthropologist, brought it back from New Guinea. Come on.
Where are we going?
Across the hall. There's more room there. You see, in New Guinea, as a matter of fact, in a lot of primitive cultures, the men join into secret societies. Now, no women, no young boys allowed, just men. And they have a secret lodge. It's off somewhere away from the village. Now, they tell everybody that all sorts of mysterious magic goes on there. Important magic, man's magic. And that's why they need that. They use that to prove to everyone that there's something powerful, something mysterious, magic about being a man. It's called a bull roarer. Go ahead, swing it. You see, they're really not too sure about themselves. of what they are or how important. That's why they need that. Now, the men meet and they whirl the bull roar. And the noise is supposed to frighten all the women and the young boys, to impress them. They make a lot of noise to cover up all their doubts. You hear it? The roaring to prove to everybody that they're men. And sometimes the young boys are frightened. They hide. They're afraid they'll never learn the magic of being a man. You see, they don't know that that roaring noise is just wind whistling through wood. See, Paul, you can make a lot of noise, you can roar. Nobody will ever know you're afraid. As long as you never stop whirling the bull roar, you never have to consider the real question. What is a man?
Some things just naturally go together, like meat and potatoes, like ham and eggs, like the Sunbeam multi-cooker fry pan and the Sunbeam Mixmaster mixer. Take eggs. The Sunbeam multi-cooker fry pan fries them exactly to your taste. And the extra high dome cover makes it big enough to hold a 9-pound roast, 2 good-sized chickens, casseroles, and it even bakes cakes. Meanwhile, the Sunbeam Mixmaster mixer is at work turning boiled potatoes into creamy smooth mashed potatoes. And to top off the meal, it can turn out pies, cookies, and of course, light, fluffy cakes. Yes, for practically every meal, the ideal combination is a Sunbeam multi-cooker fry pan and a Sunbeam Mixmaster mixer. 2 great gift ideas from Sunbeam.
Where you been?
Doesn't make any difference.
Where'd you go last night? What was the big idea running away like that?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry. You left me standing there like an idiot with those 2 beasts laughing at me.
Murray, I gotta finish.
Now, you're gonna finish with me first. You know what that cost me? Those 2 seagulls drank up $32.50 worth of liquor. The whole lousy night was a big bust.
I'm sorry, I'll pay you back.
I had to pay off that Heather for you, too.
For what?
You think I want her spreading it around and you took off like a scared choir boy? I had to give her $50, told her to get herself a dress.
I told you, I'm sorry.
Never mind. Where you been this morning?
None of your business.
What do you mean it's none of my business? Where you been?
To the clinic.
Where?
I went to talk to the doctor. Is that what you want to know?
That's it. That's the end. You're through.
Through with what?
The clinic and that doctor. Look at you. You went there for 5 months. And where'd you end up? Worse than before.
I don't want to talk about it.
Look, you're my own brother. And I don't want any phony doctor to...
Listen, Murray, it's none of your business. It has nothing to do with you.
Now, look, I did my best for you. I tried to pull you onto your feet. And look at you, you lousy little creep. Now, what are you?
I'm your brother.
I'm gonna make you a man, you hear? I'm gonna make you a man, or I'll kill you. Get up. Get up, you hear? I'll show you what a man is.
What makes you so sure you know?
You get up and I'll show you.
What is a man, Murray? Beating up a guy smaller than you because you're afraid you might be just like him? Or is it women? Is that it? Making a pass at anyone who'll stand still long enough? Is that what makes you feel like a man? When did you ever really look at a woman? When did you ever really see a woman as a human being instead of just another scalp for your collection? What makes you so sure you're a man? Why do you have to spend all your time proving it?
Let go, you yell! Shut up, Murray! He's had enough! I'll kill him. I'll show him who's bright. Murray, take it easy. That's your kid brother. No, I got nothing to do with him, you hear? I got no brother. Not me. Not me. Come on, let's get you to first aid. What's the matter with your brother? You know, he gave you a good belting around.
I guess he's just scared.
Scared of who? You?
No, not me. Thanks. Betty? Look, last night...
Sorry, Paul, I don't want to talk about it.
I know. I wish I could explain it. I was just all mixed up.
I guess that much.
Give me another chance.
This is a Sara Lee Baker, the famous little man who
Makes all those wonderful Sara Lee cakes.
for you.
And you.
And you.
Sara Lee chocolate brownies. Chewy and full of flavor. They're great for after-school snacks. Just perfect for parties. And the tops for TV watching, too. Because only Sara Lee brownies taste so good. The secret of Sara Lee goodness is easy to understand. Sara Lee uses only the finest ingredients. Whole milk, country fresh eggs, grade AA creamery butter. To bring home all this goodness to you in the freshest cakes you can buy anywhere, the little Sara Lee baker carefully bakes and then freezes them right from the oven to ensure oven freshness when you take them out of your grocer's freezer. Sara Lee all butter chocolate brownies, completely baked and ready to serve. Try them.
This is Paul Richards. Next week on Breaking Point, our guests will be Kim Hunter and Mark Richmond.
Where were you? Where were you? They wouldn't let me go.
Bing Crosby Productions and the American Broadcasting Company wish to thank the American Medical Association for its assistance in the production of Breaking Point. Breaking Point has been brought to you by the kitchens of Sara Lee, bakers of those heavenly all-butter cakes. And by the makers of Rinse Away, the family dandruff control. One capful once a week for long-lasting dandruff control. Rinse Away.